The large meeting hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with voices. Over 300 alien species gathered here, each with their own seats. Ambassador Alan Miller sat alone at the human section. He looked small compared to many of the aliens around him. Some had scales, others had multiple eyes, and a few glowed with strange energies. Alan had been Earth's voice here for 5 years now. Usually these meetings were boring. Today felt different. The high speaker Krathvor stood tall, at the center platform. His blue skin reflected the bright lights above. The long tentacles on his face twitched as he called for quiet. Alan felt a chill run down his spine. Something wasn't right. "The Council recognizes Earth," Krathvor said, his deep voice filling the hall. "You humans have been among us for 20 years now. In that time, you have advanced your technology at an alarming rate." Alan sat up straighter. This wasn't on the meeting agenda. "The Council has watched with growing concern," Krathvor continued. "Your species moves too quickly. You build weapons and ships faster than any race we have known. This creates an imbalance. This creates danger." The room grew very quiet. Alan could feel the eyes of hundreds of alien representatives on him. "Therefore, the High Council has made a decision." Krathvor's voice hardened. "Earth must slow down. You will place all your spaceships under Council control. You will allow Council observers to watch your research labs. You will stop building new technologies without our approval." Alan stood up. "High Speaker, this is not a request." Krathvor cut him off. "This is what must happen for peace to continue. You have 30 Earth days to agree. If you refuse, the Council will take steps to contain the human threat." The words hit Alan like a physical blow. Contain the human threat? That could only mean one thing: military action against Earth. "You cannot just demand," Alan began. "The Council has spoken," Krathvor said. 30 days, Ambassador Miller. Bring us Earth's surrender, or face the consequences." With that, the meeting ended. Aliens filed out quickly, avoiding Alan's eyes. Only a few gave him sympathetic looks. Most seemed afraid, or worse, satisfied with what had happened. Alan walked quickly to his ship, the small diplomatic vessel Earth had given him. His hands shook as he contacted Earth. This wasn't just bad news. This was the start of a war. On the journey back to Earth, Alan couldn't sleep. His ship would take 3 days to reach home, even with the fastest engines humans had built. As he stared at the stars through the viewing window, Officer Samantha Wright entered his cabin. "Ambassador, I found something," she said. Sam was his intelligence officer, smart and careful. Her red hair was tied back tightly and her face looked grim. "I've been monitoring Council communications. They're not being as careful as they should be." She showed him data on her tablet. "These are ship movements for the last month. The Zalarians, the Drav, and the Morabans. They've been moving warships closer to our space." Alan studied the data. "They were planning this all along." Sam nodded. "This ultimatum isn't about our technology being dangerous. They're scared of us, yes, but they also want what we have. Earth is resource-rich compared to many of their worlds." "How many ships are we talking about?" Alan asked. "Too many," Sam replied quietly. "Our fleet couldn't stop them. We have maybe 50 combat-ready vessels. They have hundreds, maybe thousands when combined." Alan felt sick. "They never wanted us to agree to their terms. They want an excuse to attack." "I think so," Sam said. "And we have less than 30 days before they do." When their ship finally reached Earth, a military escort met them. They flew directly to the United Nations building in New York, where the emergency meeting was already starting. The Security Council chamber was packed. World leaders and military commanders filled every seat. President Olivia Carter sat at the yaw, head of the table, her face stern as Alan explained what had happened. "They can't possibly expect us to surrender our sovereignty," one of the European leaders argued. "They don't," Alan replied. "I believe they want us to refuse so they have an excuse to attack." Admiral Gregory Hoffman stood up. He was a tall man. with gray hair and a weathered face from years in space. Madam President, the Space Force currently has 53 combat vessels. Intelligence suggests the Council forces could deploy over 800 against us. The room fell silent as the numbers sank in. So we have no chance, President Carter asked. In a conventional defense, no, Admiral Hoffman said. Then he exchanged a look with the President. However, President Carter nodded slightly. Clear the room except for essential personnel. After most people left, only 15 remained. The highest military and scientific leaders from Earth's major powers. Admiral Hoffman pressed a button, and the room's security systems activated, blocking all signals in or out. What I'm about to share is classified at the highest level, President Carter said. For the past 10 years, Earth has been preparing for this possibility. A woman stood up from the far end of the table. She wore a lab coat with a small pin that showed an atom symbol. I'm Dr. Elaine Foster. I lead the Prometheus Initiative. Dr. Foster brought up holographic images showing strange-looking ships and weapons. The vessels you know about, our official fleet, are only for show. The real Terran Armada has been built in secret. Alan stared at the images in shock. How is this possible? Where are these ships? Hidden throughout the solar system, Admiral Hoffman said. In asteroid belts behind moons inside hollowed-out planetoids, we have shipyards the Council knows nothing about. Dr. Foster continued, we've developed technology along different lines than the Council races. They rely on plasma and fusion systems. We explored quantum mechanics and dark energy applications. Our ships are smaller but faster, with shields that adapt to attacks. How many vessels? Alan asked. Over 300 combat-ready ships with another 200 nearly complete, Admiral Hoffman replied. Plus automated defense platforms and specialized weapons. We've been busy, Ambassador. President Carter looked around the table. I need your unanimous agreement. We are about to reveal ourselves as a major military power. There's no going back from this. One by one, the leaders nodded. Then we have a decision to make, President Carter said. Do we wait for their attack or do we strike first? Admiral Hoffman's eyes narrowed. Intelligence reports their fleet is gathering at Proxima Station near Alpha Centauri. They're not ready yet. If we hit them now, we could catch them by surprise, Alan finished. Exactly, said Admiral Hoffman. And I know just the captain for the job. Far away, at a hidden base on Jupiter's moon Europa, Captain Diane Martinez received encrypted orders. As she read them, her face grew serious. She gathered her crew on the bridge of the TSS Defiant, the most advanced warship humans had ever built. We have our orders, she told them. The Galactic Council has threatened Earth with destruction. We're going to show them how humans answer threats. Her crew cheered as the Defiant's engines powered up. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of hidden ships were doing the same. The Terran Armada was waking up. The next 24 hours on Earth were a blur of activity. Every military base went on high alert. In orbit, the visible human fleet began regular patrols, a show of readiness that would be reported back to the Galactic Council. But the real work happened in secret. Deep inside a mountain in Colorado, President Carter addressed the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Large screens showed military leaders from around the world. Operation Breakout begins now, she said. Admiral Hoffman has tactical command of all space forces. Admiral Hoffman stood at a holographic display showing the solar system. For 10 years we've hidden our true strength. Today, we stop hiding. He touched the display, and red dots appeared throughout the solar system. These are our hidden shipyards and bases. We're activating all of them. On Mars, giant doors opened in the side of Olympus Mons, revealing a massive hangar built inside the volcano. 10 warships, sleek and dangerous, powered up their engines. In the asteroid belt, hollowed-out rocks split open like eggs, releasing ships that had been built inside them. Behind Neptune's largest moon, a space station twice the size of anything Earth officially admitted to having began launching fighters. Back on Earth, Dr. Foster worked with her team in the main Prometheus lab. Upload the final combat systems. To all vessels, she ordered. Every ship needs our latest countermeasures against Council weapons. A young engineer looked up from his station. Dr. Foster, the quantum shields are ready, but they haven't been fully tested. They'll be tested. In combat soon enough, she replied. Upload them. All across Earth, manufacturing plants switched to military production. Millions of workers were called in for emergency shifts. Orbit-capable shuttles began carrying soldiers and supplies up to the waiting ships. News channels showed lines of volunteers outside recruitment centers. On the TSS Defiant, Captain Martinez reviewed the mission plans with her officers in the ship's war room. A hologram showed Proxima Station, a massive structure orbiting the closest star to Earth. Intelligence says the Council fleet is gathering here, she explained, pointing to the station. They're not expecting us to know about their plans, and they're definitely not expecting us to strike first. Lieutenant Frank Riley, her weapons officer, studied the display. Proxima Station has heavy defenses. Getting close won't be easy. That's why we're not going in alone, Martinez said. 30 ships will jump in with us. We'll hit them hard and fast. Commander Ben Harper, her second-in-command, looked concerned. The Council races have never seen our quantum drives in action. The jump itself might give them heart attacks. Good, Martinez said. Fear is a weapon, too. Throughout the ship, crew members prepared for battle. Some wrote letters to family. Others checked equipment again and again. A few prayed. All of them knew they might be the first to die in humanity's first interstellar war. In her quarters, Martinez looked at a photo of her family, her husband and young daughter. She tucked it into her uniform pocket before heading to the bridge. All stations report ready, Captain, Commander Harper said as she took her seat. Very good, she replied. Signal the fleet. Jump preparations begin now. The Defiant moved away, from Europa, joining 29 other warships at the designated jump point. They formed a perfect arrowhead formation in space. On Earth, Admiral Hoffman watched from Command Center. Captain Martinez, you have clearance to jump. Good hunting. Acknowledged, Martinez replied. Task Force Alpha beginning jump sequence. In 30 seconds. The ship's quantum drives powered up, creating a strange distortion effect around each vessel. The drives didn't move ships through space. They moved space around the ships, bending reality in ways the Council races had never mastered. Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, execute, Martinez ordered. In an instant, 30 ships vanished from the solar system. At Proxima Station, the Council fleet was still assembling. Over 200 ships orbited the massive station, with more arriving daily. On the station's command deck, Fleet Commander Dravvux received reports. Another 20 Zalarian vessels have arrived, his aide reported. The attack force is now at 70% strength. Good, Dravvux said. His gray, chitinous face showed no emotion. The humans suspect nothing. In 10 more days, we launch. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Unidentified energy signature detected, an officer shouted. What kind of... Dravvux began but stopped as the viewing screen showed space tearing open. 30 ships emerged from nowhere, instantly within firing range. Impossible, he hissed. No race has mastered fold space travel. On the Defiant, Martinez didn't waste a second. All ships open fire primary targets first. The human fleet unleashed weapons that the Council had never seen before. Quantum torpedoes phased through, conventional shields before detonating. Adaptive energy beams changed frequency to counter defensive measures. Within minutes, 12 Council ships were crippled or destroyed. They're scrambling to respond, Commander Harper reported. Their formation is breaking up. Push the advantage, Martinez ordered. All ships advance. Focus fire on their command, vessels. The Defiant led the charge, diving through the confused Council fleet. Its quantum shields absorbed energy blasts that would have vaporized conventional defenses. A massive Zalarian dreadnought moved to intercept. It fired its main cannon, a beam of pure plasma hot enough to melt through planets. Evasive, Martinez shouted. The Defiant rolled, but the edge of the beam caught its port side. Alarms blared as damage reports came in. Port shields down to 30%, Lieutenant Riley reported. Returning fire. The Defiant's main guns fired, sending streams of accelerated dark matter into the dreadnought. The exotic particles ignored conventional matter, targeting the ship's power core directly. The dreadnought went dark, then exploded in a brilliant flash. All across the battlefield, human ships moved with impossible agility, striking and fading back. Council vessels designed for traditional space combat couldn't match their speed or precision. "Captain," Harper said, "enemy ships are retreating. They're abandoning the station." Martinez nodded. "Let them run. They'll carry the message." Back to the Council. "Task Force Bravo, secure the station. All other ships form up on the Defiant." As the Council ships fled, Martinez opened a channel to Earth. "Admiral Hoffman, Proxima Station is secure. 27 enemy vessels destroyed, at least 40 damaged. We've suffered minor damage to 3 ships, no casualties." On Earth, the command center erupted in cheers. Admiral Hoffman smiled grimly. "Well done, Captain. Hold position. Reinforcements are on the way." News of the victory spread quickly across Earth. For the first time, humans saw footage of their real fleet in action. Fear turned to hope. The Terran Armada wasn't just a defensive force. It could take the fight to the enemy. President Carter addressed the world that evening. "Today, humanity showed the galaxy that we will not be bullied or threatened. We seek peace, but we are prepared for war. The choice now belongs to the Galactic Council." In the council chambers, chaos reigned as news of the defeat reached them. Krathvor faced angry representatives from dozens of worlds. "You promised an easy victory," one shouted. "Now we face a war with a species that has weapons we don't understand." "The humans must be contained," Krathvor insisted. "This changes nothing." But it had changed everything. For the first time, fear showed on the High Speaker's face. Humanity had answered the threat, and the galaxy would never be the same. 2 days after the battle at Proxima Station, Captain Martinez stood on the observation deck of the station. The massive structure was now under human control. Through the viewport, she watched as human ships patrolled the area. Engineers worked to adapt the alien technology for their own use. "Captain, we've decoded their communication logs," Commander Harper said as he entered the room. "You need to see this." They walked to the command center where Lieutenant Riley waited with a data tablet. "The Council has been planning this for over a year," Riley explained. "They've been building up forces slowly, trying not to attract attention." Martinez reviewed the data. "So Proxima Station was just the starting point. They have 2 more staging areas." "Yes," Harper confirmed. "One near Sirius and another in the Epsilon Eridani system. The Zilarians are leading the effort, but the Draven Moribunds are full partners." "What about the other Council races?" Martinez asked. "Many didn't know," Riley said. "The logs show the 3 main powers kept the full attack plan secret from the rest of the Council." Martinez's communicator beeped. "Captain, Admiral Hoffman is calling from Earth." On the main screen, Admiral Hoffman's face appeared. "Good work securing the station, Captain. I'm sending 10 more ships to help hold the position. We've learned a lot from your battle." "Thank you, sir," Martinez replied. "We've found evidence of 2 more staging areas." "We know," Hoffman said grimly. "We've detected increased activity in both systems. They're accelerating their plans after your attack. I want you to split your force. Take half to Sirius and disrupt their operations there." "And the other half, sir?" "Commander Harper will take them to Epsilon Eridani. We need to hit both locations before they can regroup." After the call ended, Martinez briefed her officers. "We leave in 6 hours. The element of surprise is gone, so expect heavy resistance." In space, the TSS Defiant led 15 ships toward Sirius. The jump was longer this time, pushing the quantum drives to their limits. When they emerged, a Zilarian battle group was waiting. "They were expecting us," Riley said, looking at the tactical display. Over 40 enemy ships formed a defensive line around a space station similar to Proxima. "But they still don't understand what we can do," Martinez replied. "Battle Formation Delta. Target their command ships first." The human vessels spread out, moving in patterns that confused Council targeting systems. The Defiant charged forward, its quantum shields glowing as enemy fire splashed against them. Return fire, Martinez ordered. The battle was fiercer this time. Council ships used new tactics, trying to surround individual human vessels. 2 Earth ships took heavy damage and had to retreat. On the Defiance bridge, an explosion rocked the ship. Direct hit to engineering, a crewman reported. Shields down to 15%. Reroute power, Martinez commanded. All ships, execute. Maneuver Theta 9. The human fleet suddenly jumped short distances, reappearing behind the enemy line. Caught by surprise, the Council ship scrambled to turn around. The Defiant fired its main guns at the space station, targeting its power core. The station went dark. Their fleet is breaking formation, Riley reported. They're retreating. Martinez nodded. Let them go. Secure the station. Meanwhile, at Epsilon Eridani, Commander Harper faced a different situation. His fleet arrived, to find the staging area nearly abandoned. Where are they? Harper wondered, scanning the area. Long-range sensors, full sweep. Commander, his sensor officer called out. We're detecting multiple jump signatures heading toward Earth. Harper immediately opened a channel to Earth. Admiral Hoffman, be advised, the enemy force at Epsilon, Eridani is gone. They may be headed your way. In Earth orbit, Admiral Hoffman received the warning. All Earth defense forces to battle stations. Activate the orbital platforms. The hidden defense grid around Earth powered up. Hundreds of automated weapons platforms, hidden in orbit for years, revealed themselves. On the Moon, massive cannons emerged from hidden bunkers aimed toward space. Just as these defenses came online, space rippled as Council ships appeared. Nearly 100 vessels from the moribund fleet. They're trying to bypass our fleets and strike directly at Earth, Hoffman realized. All ships engage. Defense platforms open fire. The battle for Earth had begun. Council ships launched fighters and drop pods toward the planet. The orbital defenses caught many, but some got through. In cities around the world, people looked up to see fireballs streaking across the sky as alien craft entered the atmosphere. President Carter was moved to a secure bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains. How bad is it? She asked. The enemy bypassed our fleets, Admiral Hoffman explained via video. But we were prepared for this. Ground defenses are engaging the landing parties. In Washington, D.C., soldiers fought alien troops in the streets. In Moscow, Shanghai, and London, similar battles raged. The Council forces had expected to face minimal resistance. Instead, they found a world armed and ready. Lieutenant Frank Riley ran through a damaged section of the Defiant. Engine room reports quantum drives back online, he told Martinez. We can jump back to Earth. Tell all ships, Martinez ordered. Emergency jump to Earth coordinates, now. At Sirius, the human fleet vanished. Minutes later, they reappeared. In Earth orbit behind the moribund fleet. They don't know we're here, Martinez said. All ships target their engines and weapons. Fire. Caught between the orbital defenses and the returning human fleet, the moribund ships were trapped. Their formation collapsed under the coordinated attack. On Earth, Ambassador Alan Miller watched the battle from a military command post. Beside him, Intelligence Officer Samantha Wright monitored communications. Something's happening, she said, suddenly. I'm picking up new signals. Ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel, but they're not Council designs. Space distorted again as a new fleet appeared. But these ships were different. Sleek, organic-looking vessels that moved with incredible grace. This is Ambassador Talara of the Solari Confederation, came a melodic voice over the communication channels. We offer assistance to the humans of Earth. The Solari ships joined the battle, their advanced weapons cutting through the remaining Council vessels. Within hours, the attack was repelled. The skies above Earth cleared of enemy ships. In the aftermath, representatives from the Solari met with Earth's leaders. Ambassador Talara, a tall being with luminous skin, bowed to President Carter. The Zalarians and their allies do not speak for the entire Council, Talara explained. Many of us opposed their actions against your world. When we learned of their secret attack plans, we gathered our own forces. Why help us? Miller asked. Because what they do to you today, they may do to us tomorrow, Talara replied. The balance of power is shifting in the galaxy. We believe humanity deserves its place among the stars. President Carter nodded. We welcome your alliance, Ambassador. Together we can end this conflict. As the meeting continued, Captain Martinez stood on the bridge of the Defiant looking down at Earth. The planet seemed so small and fragile from space, yet its people had proven their strength. Captain, Commander Harper said as he joined her, Admiral Hoffman is calling all ship captains for a strategy meeting. The war isn't over. No, Martinez agreed. But the galaxy is learning that threatening Earth was a mistake, and they'll keep learning. Throughout human space, the Terran Armada continued to grow. New ships launched daily, joining the fleet. Earth had answered the Council's threat, and the stars would never be the same again. 1 week after the battle for Earth, the Galactic Council called an emergency session. The Great Hall was tense. Nearly half the seats stood empty. Many representatives had fled back to their worlds after the human victory. High Speaker Krathvor faced an angry audience. Order, he shouted, but the shouting continued. You led us into war without full council approval, yelled the representative from the Vex Confederation, an ancient race known for their wisdom. The humans were a threat that needed containment, Krathvor insisted. A threat? The Solari ambassador Talara stood gracefully. They defended themselves against unprovoked aggression. Your secret alliance with the Drav and Moribunds has cost thousands of lives. Ambassador Alan Miller sat quietly, watching the council tear itself apart. Beside him, Samantha Wright whispered, This is working better than we hoped, Miller nodded. After the battle for Earth, he had returned to the council not as a supplicant, but as a representative of a major power. The balance was shifting. Krathvor pointed at Miller. The humans hide their true capabilities. They built weapons in secret. Miller stood. We built defenses, not weapons of aggression, and we did so because our intelligence services detected your secret military buildup years ago. He gestured to the viewing screen, where images appeared showing council ship movements dating back 3 years. You planned to conquer Earth long before you gave us your ultimatum. The council erupted again. Representatives from dozens of worlds demanded investigations into the actions of the 3 major powers. Far from the council chambers, Captain Martinez and the Defiant led a patrol near the edge of human space. New sensors installed after the battle picked up unusual readings. What do we have? Martinez asked her science officer. Unknown vessels holding position just beyond the Kuiper Belt, he replied. Not council designs. They're watching us. Martinez studied the readings. Open a channel, let's find out who our new neighbors are. The screen showed a being unlike any Martinez had seen. Crystalline structures that seemed to flow like liquid. I am Nexus 12 of the Vex Collective, the being said. We observe. This is Captain Martinez of Earth, she replied. Why? Are you observing us? You interest us. You fight differently. You think differently. The Council fears this. We do not. Are you offering alliance? Martinez asked. Not yet. First, understanding. May we send observers to your world? Martinez contacted Earth, and after consultation with President Carter, the invitation was extended. The ancient Vex had remained neutral in galactic politics for centuries. Their interest in humanity could be valuable. On Earth, Admiral Hoffman met with Dr. Foster in the Prometheus facility buried beneath the Pacific Ocean. The largest of Earth's secret labs spread for miles under the seafloor. The Council forces are regrouping, Hoffman said, looking at a galactic map. The Zalarians have recalled ships from their outer colonies. They're preparing for a major offensive. Dr. Foster nodded. Then we need to be ready. Let me show you what we've been working on. She led him to a massive chamber where engineers worked on a single ship unlike any in the Terran Armada. Twice the size of the Defiant, its hull gleamed with a strange, shifting metal. The TSS Indomitable, Foster said proudly. Our first true battleship. Quantum drives, phase shields, and a new weapon system that targets subspace directly. When will it be ready? Hoffman asked. 2 weeks. Maybe less if we push the crews. Push them. Hoffman said grimly. Intelligence suggests we don't have much time. In the council chambers, the debate had turned ugly. The Zilarian delegation stormed out after facing accusations from multiple worlds. The Drav representative remained but said little. The Moribund ambassador threatened to withdraw from the council entirely. Miller saw his opportunity. He requested permission to address the council and was granted the floor. Esteemed representatives, he began, Earth did not want this conflict. We still don't. We believe in cooperation, not conquest. He walked to the center of the chamber. I am authorized to offer the following. Earth will share some of its technological developments with council races who sign a non-aggression pact. In return, we ask only for recognition of our sovereign space and the right to continue our development without interference. The chamber went quiet. Technology sharing was rare among council races. That humans would offer it freely surprised everyone. What technologies? Asked the Vex representative. Medical advances, agricultural improvements, clean energy systems, Miller replied. Not weapons, never weapons. We develop those only to defend ourselves, not to threaten others. The offer sent ripples through the council. During a recess, representatives from 17 worlds approached Miller privately, expressing interest in his proposal. Meanwhile, Samantha Wright worked behind the scenes, meeting with intelligence, agents from races sympathetic to Earth. She slipped into a quiet chamber where a hooded figure waited. The data you requested, the figure said, passing her a small device. Movements of all Zilarian fleet elements for the past month. Thank you, Wright replied. Your assistance won't be forgotten when this is over. The hooded figure nodded. Many of us have chafed under Zilarian dominance for too long. Their faction has controlled the council for centuries through fear and manipulation. Perhaps humans can change that. On the TSS Defiant, Martinez received new orders from Admiral Hoffman. Her ship would escort a diplomatic vessel carrying technical advisors to the worlds that had expressed interest in Earth's offer. Their first stop would be the Solari homeworld. A peace mission? Commander Harper asked as they reviewed the orders. Peace through strength, Martinez replied. We show them our best ship while talking about cooperation. They'll understand the message. As the Defiant prepared to depart, Martinez received one more visitor, a Vex observer named Sentinel-7, the crystalline being moved with surprising grace despite its alien form. You are nervous about my presence, it said, its voice coming from everywhere and nowhere. I'm cautious, Martinez corrected. Your people have watched the galaxy for millennia without taking sides. Why start now? TI, Vex's structure shifted, creating patterns of light. Because in all our watching, we have never seen a species like yours. You developed in isolation, taking different paths. Your quantum technology achievements in decades took others centuries. Is that good or bad? Martinez asked. It is. Interesting. The council races fear what they don't understand. We seek to understand before judging. That is why I am here. As the Defiant jumped to the Solari system, reports came in from across the galaxy. The Zilarians had withdrawn their representatives from dozens of worlds. The Drav fleet was mobilizing again. The Moribunds had gone silent. Their communications, network shut down. On Earth, President Carter addressed the United Nations. We stand at a crossroads, she said. For the first time, Earth is being recognized as a major power in the galaxy. Some welcome this change, others resist it. We must be prepared for both peace and war. In orbit, the new defense platforms were joined by ships from the Solari and other allies. Earth's moons now hosted bases with representatives from 5 alien species. The isolation that had defined humanity's existence was ending. In her quarters, on the Defiant, Captain Martinez studied the faces of those who had died in the battle so far. Human and alien alike, they had fallen in a conflict that threatened to engulf the galaxy. She made a silent promise to them. This war would end, and it would end with humanity secure among the stars. The Vex observer entered silently. Your thoughts are troubled, Captain. I'm thinking about what comes next, she replied. The Zilarians won't give up easily. No, agreed the Vex. They will strike again, harder than before, but they no longer fight just humans. They fight change itself. And that is a battle they cannot win. Across the vastness of space, the forces were aligning. The Council was splitting into factions. New alliances were forming. And at the center of it all, the Terran Armada stood ready, no longer hidden, no longer afraid. 3 weeks after the Council meeting, the storm broke. Long-range sensors detected massive fleet movements from Zalarian space. Over 500 ships jumped into the Alpha Centauri system, destroying the human outposts there within hours. "They're coming," Admiral Hoffman said grimly as he briefed Earth's leaders. The holographic display showed 3 massive enemy fleets converging toward the solar system. "This is their all-out assault." President Carter looked at the military and civilian leaders gathered in the war room. "How long do we have?" 2 days at most," Hoffman replied. "We've recalled all our ships. The Solari fleet is en route to support us. The Vex remain neutral but have withdrawn their observation vessels from the combat zone." Dr. Foster stood. "The Indomitable is ready. We've installed the new weapon systems and tested the enhanced quantum shields. It's the most powerful ship ever built by human hands." "One ship won't turn the tide against hundreds," said a general. "It might," Hoffman countered, "especially with what's on board." The TSS Defiant raced back to Earth, pushing its engines beyond safe limits. On the bridge, Captain Martinez watched the stars blur past. "Status report," she ordered. "All systems operating at 110% capacity." Commander Harper replied. "We'll reach Earth in 18 hours. The Vex observer, Sentinel-7, floated near the tactical display. "The Zalarians commit everything to this attack. They fear what humanity represents." "And what is that?" Martinez asked. "Change," the crystalline being replied. "For millennia, the Council races developed along similar technological paths. Your quantum technology, your adaptive shields. These should have taken centuries to develop, not decades. You think differently. You solve problems differently." Martinez nodded. "And they fear that if we share our approach with other races, their dominance ends." "Precisely. This attack is not just against Earth. It is against a future they cannot control." At the edge of the solar system, the first skirmishes began. Scout ships exchanged fire with the advancing Zalarian forces. Earth's outer defense platforms activated, launching autonomous drone fighters to slow the enemy advance. Ambassador Miller worked frantically on the diplomatic front. From a secure facility on the Moon, he coordinated with allies across the galaxy. The Solari had committed their entire fleet. 7 other races sent smaller contingents, but many remained on the sidelines, waiting to see which way the battle would turn. "We need more support," Miller told Samantha Wright as they analyzed intelligence reports. "The Zalarians have convinced many Council races that this is their last chance to stop human expansion. Then we need to prove them wrong," Wright replied. "Not by winning the battle, but by showing what kind of power we'll be afterward." In orbit around Saturn, the Terran Armada assembled. 250 ships formed a defensive line, joined by 60 vessels from allied races. At their center, waited the massive form of the TSS Indomitable. Admiral Hoffman transferred his flag to the new battleship, making it the command center for the coming battle. "All ships, battle stations," he ordered. "The enemy will reach Saturn's orbit in 2 hours. This is where we make our stand." On Earth, citizens watched the news with a mixture of fear and determination. In just weeks, they had gone from believing themselves alone in the universe to fighting for survival against an alien alliance. The images from space showed Earth's fleet, absurdly outnumbered but holding position. The Zalarian fleet appeared first, dropping out of faster-than-light travel just beyond Saturn's rings. Their ships formed perfect geometric patterns, a display of discipline and coordination. Behind them came the Drav vessels, bulky and heavily armed. The moribund fleet flanked both sides, their sleek hunters moving into attack positions. "They're trying to surround us," Hoffman noted. "Standard Council tactics. All ships prepare for combat pattern Omega. The Indomitable will lead the center thrust." The massive human ship moved forward, its quantum drives creating a strange distortion effect around its hull. The rest of the fleet spread out, forming smaller task groups. The battle began with a blinding exchange of energy weapons. The space around Saturn lit up as thousands of beams, torpedoes, and missiles crossed the void. Council ships pressed forward, trying to use their superior numbers to overwhelm the human fleet. But the Terran vessels had better shields and more advanced weapons. They held their line. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Admiral Hoffman watched the tactical display. "They're committing everything to a frontal assault. They haven't adapted to our fighting style." "Sir," a communications officer called out, "the TSS Defiant has arrived. Captain Martinez requests permission to join the battle." "Granted," Hoffman replied. "Tell her to take position on our starboard flank." The Defiant shot through the battlefield, its quantum shields flaring as enemy fire washed over it. It took position beside the Indomitable, adding its firepower to the flagship's devastating barrage. "Admiral," Martinez communicated, "the Vex Observer has provided us with tactical data on Zilarian fleet formations. I'm transmitting it now." The information showed weaknesses in the enemy patterns, gaps that could be exploited. Hoffman immediately updated the battle plan, directing precision strikes at key points in the Zilarian formation. Dr. Foster stood beside Hoffman on the bridge. "It's time for the new weapon," she said quietly. Hoffman nodded. "All ships, fall back to secondary positions. Create a gap in our center." The human fleet adjusted, appearing to weaken their center line. The Zilarian command ship surged forward with its escort vessels, sensing an opportunity. "They've taken the bait," Hoffman said. "Activate the subspace targeting system." Deep within the Indomitable, a new weapon powered up. Unlike conventional weapons that attacked matter or energy, this one targeted the fabric of space-time itself. Dr. Foster had discovered that quantum fields could be manipulated to create local distortions in subspace. Firing in 3, 2, 1. The weapons officer counted down. The Indomitable fired, but there was no visible beam or explosion. Instead, a ripple spread through space, invisible except for the strange way it bent light. When it reached the Zilarian command ship, space itself seemed to fold around the vessel. The massive ship shuddered, its engines dying as the subspace field collapsed around it. "Direct hit," the tactical officer reported. "Zilarian command. Ship is dead in space. Their formation is breaking apart." All across the battlefield, the Council fleet faltered as their coordinated attack fell into disarray. The human forces pressed the advantage, focusing fire on key enemy vessels. On Earth, President Carter received word of the battle's turning point. "Launch the diplomatic package," she ordered. "All channels, all frequencies." A message went out to every ship in the battlefield, to every world in Council space, and to every listening post in the galaxy. It contained proof of the Zilarian conspiracy, evidence of their planned conquest, and a simple offer. Earth would stand down if the Council forces withdrew. "We don't seek destruction," the message concluded. "We seek our place among the stars, not through conquest but through cooperation." In the Council chambers, representatives from neutral worlds watched the battle unfold through live feeds. They saw the human fleet fighting with discipline and precision. They heard Earth's offer of peace, and they began to speak out, demanding the Zilarian alliance stand down. As the battle raged on, more ships arrived, not to fight for the Council, but to support Earth. The Vex Confederation, after millennia of neutrality, sent a small contingent of ancient, powerful vessels. They took position alongside the human fleet, their advanced technology turning the tide decisively. On the crippled Zilarian command ship, High Speaker Krathvor watched his great fleet falling apart. "It's impossible," he whispered. "They cannot be this strong." The last hours of the battle saw the Council fleet in full retreat. The moribund ships fled first, followed by the Drav. The Zilarians fought on, but were eventually surrounded. High Speaker Krathvor surrendered personally to Admiral Hoffman aboard the Indomitable. "You have won this battle," Krathvor said bitterly, "but the Council will never accept human dominance." "We don't seek dominance," Hoffman replied. "We seek equality." That's something your kind never understood. In the aftermath, a new Galactic Council formed. The old power structure collapsed as evidence of corruption and conspiracy came to light. Ambassador Miller represented Earth at the first meeting of the Reformed Council, where humans were granted full membership with all rights and protections. 6 months later, Captain Martinez stood on the observation deck of a new space station, orbiting Earth. Ships from 24 alien civilizations moved through the busy lanes around the planet. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and scientific cooperation flourished. "It's not what I expected," she told Sentinel-7, who had remained as a permanent liaison between Earth and the Vex. "I thought we were fighting for survival. It turns out we were fighting for something much bigger." "The galaxy needed change," the Vex replied. "Humanity provided the catalyst. The Terran Armada remained strong, its ships patrolling human space and helping enforce the new peace. But more and more, those ships carried scientists, diplomats, and traders rather than weapons. On the bridge of the Defiant, preparing for another mission, Martinez looked at the crew around her. Humans working alongside aliens from allied worlds exploring the stars together. "Ready for departure, Captain," Commander Harper reported. Martinez nodded. "Take us out, Commander. There's a whole galaxy waiting." As the Defiant left Earth's orbit, its quantum drives engaged. The ship disappeared in a flash of light, carrying humanity's future to the stars.